The whippers took him by surprise that first morning. He was picking brickleberries for breakfast when he saw a flash of white scurry by his foot and disappear into the next row of vines. Jaq chased after it, but instead of running away, the small rodent turned around to face him. Jaq smiled. The little critter was just a big-eyed bundle of white fluff, no bigger than his foot. It had a twitchy little nose covered with whiskers and floppy ears that perked up like curious light bulbs. Just as Jaq was thinking about how cute it was, it sneered at him. "You looking at me, farm boy?" it said. What? Jaq was stunned. The whipper wasn't scared of him at all. "Stop following me," the whipper said. "Geez, you're gonna step on my tail, you clumsy fat foot." As Jaq stood there in shock, another whipper snuck up behind him and bit his ankle. When he turned around to kick it, the whipper catapulted itself away, jumping higher than Jaq's head. Boing! As Jaq watched, a third nipped him from behind. They were small bites and only mildly poisonous to Jaq, but after 6 or 7, it got really annoying. After that, every morning and afternoon was the same. Jaq would go to work in the garden or in the fields, and the whippers would attack. He found that he was mostly immune to the poison of the whipper bite, but not so immune to the sarcastic taunts that flew out of the whippers like spit. Imagine a field of older siblings popping up unexpectedly to insult your outfit or that pimple on your nose, or to tell you that you throw like a toddler. That's what a field infested with whippers is like. "Hey, dummy, I'm beginning to think you couldn't grow a weed in a field of manure," one would say. "I know, right?" another would agree. "How hard can it be to grow brickleberries? I bet he couldn't grow mold on an old piece of cheese." "You did plant seeds, right? Pebbles don't sprout, in case you were wondering." Jaq put out traps for the pests, but the very next day, he was served with a cease and desist order from the Whipper Protection Society. That's right, those pesky whippers are a protected species, which meant that Jaq couldn't kill them. He couldn't even rough them up a little. The members of the WPS are city folk who think that if an animal is cute, it can't possibly be a pest. As a result of this protection, whippers aren't afraid of farmers, because they know the farmers can't touch them. There is only one animal the whipper is afraid of, the friesel, known affectionately by farmers as the whipperslinger. Jaq needed a friesel, but to get a friesel, he'd have to get permission from his mother. And unfortunately for Jaq, his mother's favorite word was no, even though it tasted like fish paste. Chapter 2: The Weight of Words. No matter which planet you live on, you're going to have to do some work if you want a pet of your very own. On Epsidor Irandi, it's a long process that involves allergy tests, training courses, home safety measures, and a review of the child's crammed full of activities schedule to see if there's room in it for pet care. If a child manages to make it through all that, then the desired pet is declawed and defanged and purchased, along with a leash that matches the one the child has been wearing since he or she could walk. Parents can be slightly overprotective on Epsidor Irandi. I'm not entirely sure how kids on Zanflid get their pets, but I think it involves a trek through the jungle with a large bug and a can of net spray. The bug chews a path through the poisonous kufi plants, revealing the small bamu bears that dwell beneath them. One shot of net spray and swoosh, you've captured your first pet, if its mother doesn't eat you first. On Yipsmix, much like on Earth, the first step in getting a pet is proving to your parent that you can take care of it. Jaq tried to show how responsible he'd be by looking after his grandfather so his mom could rest after a hard day's work. "If I can take care of Grandpa," he told her, "a friesel should be a piece of cake." That was true. Not only was Grandpa lazy, but when he was upset, he also had a habit of angrily pointing at things and making everyone guess his complaint. This was annoying for all involved, even Grandpa, but he did it just so he could say, "You'll never hear me complain," and nobody could call him a liar. To ease his mother's burden, Jaq jumped in whenever Grandpa got pointy. "The soup's too hot? The soup's too cold? The soup tastes like wonderful tastes? Soup shouldn't be that gray color?" Grandpa frowned and pointed at his soup again. "The bowl's too small. You want the..."